Xenophobic violence, Nigerian President Muhammadu Buhari has confirmed that he will undertake a state visit to South Africa next month. There were retaliatory attacks against South African businesses in Nigeria following xenophobic violence across South Africa earlier last week. South Africa's High Commission in Abuja was shut as a result. CGTN's Kelechi Meklam takes a look.
In South Africa, reprisal attacks on South African businesses in Nigeria have been intense.
Attacking them, we're hurting our own people.
Recent attacks have caused a further strain on diplomatic relations between South Africa and Nigeria. Trade volume between both countries is over $60 billion, and South Africa remains one of...
There is also the diplomatic implications. An ambassador's responsibility is to represent the interests of his nation in a foreign nation.
For two of Africa's largest economies, experts here to speedily douse the rising diplomatic tension and calm frayed nerves on the streets. President Buhari has already sent an envoy to meet with South African authorities. CGTN Abuja, Nigeria.
Over 400 participants from Zababa for the 14th on human settlements. The two-day event concluded with a call for a commitment from governments and other stakeholders to work smart cities. CGTN's Gerum Chala has more.
On the sustainable cities and to promote the cooperation and the communication of the between Africa and other regions.
The UN report suggests 70% of urban live in slums and close to 90% of the population in Africa live in informal housing. People reside in healthy and risky environments are easy to find these days. Experts say the time is now to also incorporate to create smart cities in Africa.
The whole idea about coming up with a forum like this is to discuss issues about creating what one calls smart cities. Smart cities is basically a process of ensuring that inhabitants of those cities have a better life, have environments that allow for sustainable development in those cities. They have environments that allow them to be able to access digitally to various services like the e-health services, the education health services, agriculture health services, and even the digital economy also to be able to benefit from that so they can be able to access to financial and also social inclusion.
More than 400 participants, most of them representing cities from across Africa, has a forum. Has been an eye-opener experience.
I'm taking back with me new ideas, approaches to how we can clean and smart, and also basically it's been I've had to shift certain positions that I held before.
The organizer also believes the 14th Global Forum on Human Settlements has been a platform which created cooperation among African cities and beyond.
We have gathering 400 participants from 50. I think it is a very good to meet each other and keep touching and for the potential cooperation.
African cities are still challenged by several issues while they are attempting to develop themselves into smart cities. Apart from lacking basic services, only a third of Africans use the internet, and the digital infrastructure itself is way behind in speed, volume, and reliability. The good news is Africa looks to be focused and engaged to turn this around. Group Jara CGTN Addis Ababa.
The AfriStar railed 4 Kenyan nationals to senior the Kenyan branch of the China Road and Bridge Corporation as it moves to localize its operations in the country. Sammy Gachuhi has stepped into the position of Deputy General Manager. David Muga becomes Freight Marketing Manager, and Olivia Mengich appointed Corporate Culture Deputy Manager. And of course, Diana Kimani becomes the Deputy Manager of the Passenger Department. The move is also part of the localization plan that will see more Kenyans trained to take over senior positions in the running of the country's standard gauge rail. Kenyans in leadership. He moves to the second phase of Kenya's standard gauge railway project.
We come in to work together with AfriStar company to meet and being the leading impetus of Kenya's economic and social development, and also working together with the government in driving the Big Four agenda and Vision 2030. We will work on ensuring that we provide safe, efficient,